Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I'm your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am beyond thrilled today. We are sitting down with a man who redefined what an instrument could do. For those who may somehow not know who you are, who are you?
Hey Calvin, I'm Eddie Van Halen. Most people know me as the guy who played guitar for a little band called Van Halen. I'm just a guy who loved to tinker with things and make some noise.
A little band? You're being modest. Let's go back to the beginning. When and where were you born?
I was born on January 26, 1955, in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. We lived in Nijmegen for a while before my family made the big move to the States.
And what was your given name at birth?
My full name was Edward Lodewijk Van Halen.
Is there a story behind your birth name?
There is. My father, Jan, was a huge jazz fan and a musician himself. He named me Lodewijk after the composer Ludwig van Beethoven. Lodewijk is the Dutch version of Ludwig. I guess I was destined to be around music from day one with a name like that.
That's a heavy namesake to carry. What was your hometown like growing up?
Well, Nijmegen was beautiful, but we moved to Pasadena, California when I was about 7. Pasadena was where everything really started for me. It was sunny, full of energy, and eventually it became the place where we'd set up our gear in the backyard and just play until the neighbors complained.
Sounds like the classic California dream. What was your family life like?
It was all about music. My dad played the clarinet and saxophone. My mom, Eugenia, was the rock of the family. My brother Alex and I were inseparable. We didn't have much money. We actually moved to America with only about $50 and a piano, but we had each other and we had our instruments.
What kind of kid were you?
I was actually pretty shy. I wasn't the guy who wanted to be the center of attention in class. I just wanted to hide in my room and practice. Alex was the outgoing one. I was the one with the screwdriver taking apart my guitar to see how it worked.
What were your biggest fears growing up?
Moving to a new country where you don't speak the language is terrifying. We dealt with some bullying because we were different or didn't fit in right away. That fear of not being understood was big, but music became the language that helped me overcome that.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
Honestly, I thought I was going to be a classical pianist. My mom really pushed the piano on us. I won several piano competitions at Long Beach City College. I never learned to read music, though. I just listened to the records and memorized the movements.
Wait, the guitar legend couldn't read music? That's incredible. What were some of your favorite activities in school?
Music class, of course. But Alex and I also loved track and field. We were actually pretty good runners. But once we discovered rock and roll, the running shoes stayed in the locker and the instruments came out.
What was your first job?
I had a paper route with Alex. We'd go out early in the morning and toss papers. It was the only way we could save up money to buy better gear. Every cent went toward a new drum kit or a better amp.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
It was probably when I realized I was hearing sounds in my head that I couldn't find on any guitar in a store. I'd see other kids playing sports or hanging out, and I just wanted to be at home, experimenting with tapping on the fretboard or rewiring my pickups. I realized my brain just worked in frequencies.
What's a decision that changed everything for you but felt small at the time?
Switching instruments with Alex. I started on drums and he started on guitar. But while I was out delivering papers, he'd sneak onto my drum kit and get better than me. One day I just said, "Fine, you take the drums, I'll take the guitar. Best trade in history."
I'd say so. What was your biggest break?
Playing the clubs in West Hollywood like the Starwood and the Whiskey A Go-Go. Gene Simmons from Kiss actually saw us and produced our first demo. But the real, quote, break was meeting our producer, Ted Templeman, and getting that first contract with Warner Brothers.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
Money was always tight. We were playing backyard parties and dive bars just to pay the rent. We used to carry our own gear in a beat-up van doing everything ourselves. It was a grind, but we loved it.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Never. Not once. Music wasn't a choice for me. It was like breathing. Even when things were tough, I'd just go back to my guitar and everything felt right again.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
Tinkering. I call it brown sounding. I would spend hours every day, even at the height of our fame, just messing with my equipment. I never stopped trying to find a better tone. You have to stay curious.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I probably would have been an instrument technician or an engineer. I loved the how and why of things. If I wasn't playing them, I'd be building them.
What was your life like before fame?
It was simple. It was me, Al, and the guys in the garage. We'd drink a few beers, play loud music, and try to write songs that made people want to dance.
How did relationships change after success?
It gets complicated. People start looking at you like a quote unquote rock star instead of just Ed. But my relationship with Alex stayed solid. He was the one person who always knew the real me.
Did fame bring happiness?
It brought opportunities, but happiness came from the music and my family, especially my son Wolfgang. Fame is just the noise that comes with doing what you love.
What was the downside of becoming famous?
The loss of privacy. I'm a private person by nature. Having people watch your every move or deal with the business side of the industry, that was always the hardest part for me.
What misconceptions did people have about you?
That I was just a quote unquote party animal. People saw the videos and the stage show and thought that was my whole life. In reality, I was often the guy sitting quietly in the studio at 3 a.m., obsessed with a single note.
What was your darkest moment?
I had some long battles with health and personal demons over the years. There were times when the road felt very long and very lonely, even when I was surrounded by thousands of fans.
What's something people misunderstood about your life?
People often thought the guitar playing came easy to me. They called me a natural. But it wasn't just magic. It was thousands and thousands of hours of practice until my fingers bled.
Tell me about a time when everything went wrong and how did you handle it?
When I first tried to build the Frankenstrat, I ruined so many guitar bodies trying to saw them apart or fit different parts together. I'd have a pile of junk on the floor and feel like a failure, but I'd just pick up the next piece of wood and try again. Resilience is key.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My father. He taught me that being a musician was a noble thing, even if you're struggling. And Eric Clapton, his Blues Breakers album, was my Bible.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was always recording. I have a vault at my home studio, 5150, filled with thousands of hours of unreleased music. I was also so proud to be playing with my son Wolfgang in the band. That was the highlight of my later years.
When and where did you pass away?
October 6, 2020, in Santa Monica, California. I was 65.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I actually played the guitar solo on Michael Jackson's Beat It for free. I did it as a favor to Quincy Jones. My bandmates were away, so I just walked in, rearranged the track a bit, played the solo, and left. I didn't even want a credit on the album.
That's legendary. What's the craziest rumor ever told about you?
Oh, there were so many. People used to say I had magic fingers or special surgeries to play faster. It's all just practice, man.
What was your favorite food?
I loved simple things. A good spicy taco or some Dutch snacks from back home. I wasn't a fancy eater.
What was your favorite book?
I wasn't much of a reader. I was a listener. But I loved technical manuals. I'd read those cover to cover to learn how to fix a car engine or a vacuum tube amp.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Do it because you love it, not because you want to be famous. If you love the process, you've already won. And don't be afraid to break the rules. That's where the new sounds are hiding.
Eddie, do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before signing off?
Just that I'm so grateful music allowed me to connect with so many people. It's a universal language, man. Keep playing, keep creating, and don't let anyone tell you how your art should sound. Thanks for letting me share my story, Calvin. This was a blast.
Thank you so much, Eddie. It has been an absolute honor. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod